everybody. This is Jim.
Hey, and this is Mike.
And we are recording remotely. Not that anyone cares, but
Yeah, you can't see us anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Jim, we did the first half year or year in your studio there in New Jersey.
Yeah, and then we went remote for a little while, and then we came back, and now we're
remote again.
We're quarantined. So
Hello?
Mike's in PA. I'm in New Jersey, but we're going to do this. And we are on our regular show, number 16.
That's right. So, Jim, what are you drinking?
I'm having some coffee.
Oh, yeah.
It's ShopRite brand, Bowl and Basket. What are you drinking?
Basket.
You drinking a beer?
No, I'm not drinking a beer. I'm drinking
it's like 9 in the morning.
I'm drinking a hard cider, Bold Rock.
I got this French roast. It's really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, cool. So, yeah, we got a regular program going here, regular episode, and we have been delayed, actually, because of so many great interviews. You know, we've just got a lot of interviews behind us. I can't even count. I would say a dozen musicians.
Yeah, I think we've interviewed about 12.
Yeah, that's awesome. Local, you know, from the local guy up in Albrightsville, PA, to people known around the world. So it's been awesome. It's been a great ride.
And we've got some good ones coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, by the time you're listening to this, a couple weeks ago, we released our interview with Marcy Levy, Marcella Detroit, and that was a good one.
It's Levy, actually. Yeah, Marcy Levy. Yeah, like New Orleans and the big, masses of soil that keep back the water. Levy.
And we apologize for the audio. We try to do the best audio. It's hard to do remote. You know, I'm in the studio. Mike's in his kitchen.
Yeah, with a tablet. Yeah.
But Marcy, we had a little bit of interference, but we're trying to work on that problem.
Yeah. So Jim, we've been really talking about it, really taking a focus on music like we originally had planned, because we had a book review. We talked about the NFL. We talked about COVID, talked about beer, about 1 year ago. So really focusing on music, and I'm going to continue to do that for all you people. I'm really thinking about our listeners. I was going to say fan base, but I think that's too far. Really thinking about our listeners, and they're like us. You like to hear some great stories from the past, but you also want to get turned on to some new music.
Yeah, so we're going to focus more on music. And if anybody's noticed, we did add the word music. It was Jim and Mike Talk, because we were going to talk about other subjects, but we're going to stick to music. That's what we love and know. And this show, what we did was we randomly picked 3 albums from the top 50 from 2020.
And there's different sources. There's different sources that we could go with from that top.
We went with Rolling Stone magazine, which isn't what it used to be. So, because some of these on this list, I disagree with. The rating where they were.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at some others. I was looking at, and you did too, looking at Billboard, NPR, Spin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody has a top 50. But I was surprised on this list. We're going to bring up Paul McCartney again, which we have to always talk about the Beatles.
And we just did. So if we don't talk about them again, it's all right. You actually said the word Beatles.
Yeah, so Paul was at number like 45. Mm-hmm. And this one album I unfortunately, have, I don't even think it should be on the list. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So Jim, tell me. So you've got your roulette wheel there, right? You actually created no, you didn't, did you?
Yeah, I did. Out of
okay, yeah.
Wax and Cheetos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you spin the roulette wheel with the 50 top albums from the most recent year, and you got 3, and I got 3.
Yeah. We went by numbers, of course, whatever number they were. And it's a random number generator, actually.
Yeah. And then what I love even more is that I get to put randomness aside, and we get to talk about something we like. It's personal to us from the last year.
Yeah. And also talk about new bands that I've discovered over the last year.
Cool.
We won't go into great detail, but
Mhm.
I'll mention some bands that maybe you haven't heard of, which I in my opinion, are pretty good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some people think music is dead. Rock and roll is dead. Maybe rock and roll per se, but there are some good rock and roll bands out there.
Mm.
And it's there's so much music coming out, and it's hard to be original, I think. Unique, and stand out anymore.
Yeah. Right. But I've been impressed lately with some people I've been talking to who are really into new music. Give an example. Got my brother's friend who will remain unnamed, M. And I was talking with him, and we were working on something last 2 weekends ago. And, I just thought, he was into just hard rock, some classic rock. Mm-hmm. But he says to me, I want to hear songs I never heard before. Yeah. And then he started talking about Americana and roots. And roots rock and Americana. And, I mentioned a couple names, but he's so into it, and he's listening to streaming, all this new music. And, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't just look at somebody and say, they're probably into this, they're probably just listening to classic rock or something. But no, these, there's a lot of people who are really looking for new stuff. And that surprised me,
Yeah.
So open up, listeners, open up with people and get turned on to some new music.
And I don't get people who don't listen to music. I know people are, maybe they're older and they used to listen to what's considered classic rock, and they just nothing really excites them. But we watched this show. It's called Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
You have Netflix, right?
Yeah. I could be watching it.
Just see if you like it. It's Eugene Levy. It's Levy, not Levy.
Yeah, Levy.
It's his son is in it, and his daughter. It's like a family affair. And Catherine O'Hara, too. She's great. And briefly, it's about this family that mismanaged. Their manager mismanaged some money. They're rich, right? Mm-hmm. But their lawyer or advisor brings up that Eugene Levy's character had bought a town as a joke.
Yeah, that's funny.
I think as a gift for his wife, and it was Schitt's Creek. So he reminds him that he owns this town. So they go to the town, and they're living in a motel, and they have to adjust. They bring all their clothes with them, and Chris Elliott is in it. Chris Elliott.
Cool. We better get going if we want to stay ahead of the weather.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking. That's a Groundhog Day. Chris Elliott.
Wait, I brought. Okay.
No, that's Groundhog Day. Chris Elliott says to.
Yeah.
We better get going if we're going to stay ahead of the weather.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So the reason I'll wrap this up, but the reason I brought it up is the one girl, she's writing a song for her boyfriend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she's trying to get the opinion of the daughter, and she says to her, I don't like music. Just simply, I don't like music. Like that.
Yeah. Like, I don't like water, or I don't like to bathe.
I start cracking up because it's that got me. Anyway.
Yeah. No,
so
point taken.
So we'll get started here. Give anything else before we start?
The only question is I have, why haven't we named our moon? But we're going to get to that some other time.
Oh, okay. Named our moon.
Yeah. We've never named the moon.
Oh, it's the moon.
The moon. It's like having a dog and you can name it the dog.
Okay? Or the sun.
The sun is the name of the closest star. See, the sun is a star, and we've named our star the sun, or sun, but we haven't named the moon. There's moons around Jupiter. I don't know, there's 27 of them, I think. And do we call them the moon? No, we've named the moons around Jupiter. I
think we should call it Ralph for the honeymooners. The honeymooners used Ralph's, Ralph Cramden's face in the moon.
Yeah. I'll go first unless you want to.
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. So randomly selected. I almost missed the number 50 because I got number 48 here on the top 50. And it's the album called Growth by KAREEM Ali. Mm-hmm. The genre is, the label it's given is down tempo. So it's really an electronic or electronica and with a slow beat. You're not going to believe how many songs he's got. He's got 26 songs in just an hour and 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah. So you can imagine that there's a couple that are 30 seconds and a couple that are a minute long. Well, you know, it's they might be giants. Remember, they used to do short songs. So this is one of 5 albums that he produced in 2020. After a year of in 2019, he did 3. Okay, so again, he put out 5 albums in 2020. So we could have chosen any of them. First song starts off with Kareem vocalizing science and philosophy. It's kind of a spoken word, again, with a slow backbeat, electronica. And he's talking about drugs and the brain, and you know how the brain actually is made up of drugs, and you put drugs in it and that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're not supposed to understand that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, much of the album is instrumental. You got electronic, you got drums, percussion, bass, a lot of relaxing synth sounds. You know, the synthesizer playing, so it's got a real chill feel. He sings on track 5, and it's called "Feel Everything," and so that's my favorite track. The spoken word's okay. The electronica is okay. And Jim, you know, I dabbled in the electronica with Fruity Loops, FL Studio, you know, for a while there. And so I appreciate to some degree.
I thought that was the name of your band.
Fruity Loops. No, for those who make their own music at home, you know, FL Studio. So my fave is when he sings "Feel Everything." So if you do check out "Growth" by KAREEM Ali, you're gonna. I'd like you to listen to track 5, "Feel Everything." So my one critique is the transitions. You know, I worked for 3 years on electronic music, and you know, you don't just put out an album and the transition from one song to the next sucks. I mean, it's just, you know, so you've got like let's say you've got a synth going, you know, you might want to kick that off from you know, but instead it crackles, and there's a couple transitions from song to song. In other words, yeah, that song's okay, that song's good, but don't you think you should listen through the album to see how it goes from one song?
Maybe he should have not done like 20 some songs and focused on a good 10, 12 and like added to you know, made them a little better. How's his voice though? I'm sorry.
It's decent. Yeah, it's decent.
Okay.
Yeah, decent. He's honest. You know, he's got a sincere feel there. So I like that. But there's no way that a couple of those transitions, you would actually hear a song and go to the next and say, yeah, that was good. You know, so that's my critique on that. I give it a 3-star rating from 0 from 1 to 5. I give it a 3. Yeah. I'm not calling it bad, but you know, I've got some criticisms there, but yeah, the song he sings on, I think it's great. I think I like that one.
What mention his name again?
All right, so this is one of his many albums, 8 in the last 2 years. This is an album called "Growth," and it's by KAREEM Ali.
Okay.
Ali. Ali.
So you might want to check that out. You give it a 3.
So Jim, what do you got next?
Okay, I got a girl that goes by the name of Soccer Mommy.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And I wasn't sure if this was the name of a band but I'm pretty sure it's just her because I've seen some live video, or not live, but video of just her.
Yeah.
First of all, I think the name is awful because her real name is Sophie Allison, which I think is great.
Sophie Ali, Ali, or Sophie A,
or even Sophie Allison. I mean, now she was born in Switzerland, but she grew up in Nashville. So at a young age, I guess she moved there.
Yeah.
What's intriguing is that she went to college. I'm going to tell a little bit about her. She went to college for 2 years, and she started performing. I think she put out songs on that Bandcamp earlier. And she's around 22 years old. So she was in college for 2 years. And I guess she started to get a following and got a record deal. And she quit college.
Yeah.
She quit college after 2 years.
Yeah.
Her sound is similar to Juliana Hatfield. I said Juliana Hatfield meets the Sundays. If anyone remembers the Sundays. Now, I listened to this album. The first time you listen to an album, you're like, it's okay. But after I listened to it, I think I listened to it like 5 times. I really started liking it. Some songs I like better than others. There's 10 songs at 44 minutes. The first song's way too long. It's well, it's 5 minutes and 37 seconds,
Uh-huh.
but it should be like 2 minutes. And I was listening to this, and I fell asleep at the wheel of my car, and I ended up in someone's living room.
Really?
Yeah, and luckily no one was hurt. The cop arrived, and he asked me what happened, and I told him, and he said,
Did you blame it on Julie? Did you blame it on Juliana Hatfield, though?
No, Soccer Mommy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And once I told him what I was listening to, that first song on the album, do not listen to that while you're driving. He knew.
Yeah, yeah. This wasn't when you had the TV, right? You didn't actually have a TV that day.
No, that's
in the car. Okay.
I'll tell that story another time.
Yeah.
The huge TV.
Yeah.
That I shoved in my car. That's the first song. The second song, Circle the Drain, that's the song that sounds most like the Sundays, where she goes from a low voice to, a high, very, very nice. I love her voice on this song. Now, the whole album is kind of mellow. There's a couple of songs that are a little bit rocking. And the thing I noticed, the first and second song, believe it or not, have the same exact drum beat.
Yeah.
It's the same, like she just reused that drum beat.
Yeah. Is it live or electronic, or can't you tell?
I'm not sure, because when she performs live, she has a band with her. But
yeah.
I don't know what went on in the studio. And lyrically, now this is one of the albums, it reminds me of Phoebe Bridgers. Very honest, sometimes sad, but she's putting herself out there, and mostly about relationships, maybe depression. Like on Circle the Drain, there's a line, I think there's mold in my brain. It's running down all the way to my heart and my body. And it's a sad, like, I love this song though, but like I said, her voice is like really pure and sweet on this song. She has a really, really good voice.
Title of the song again?
Circle the Drain.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of these songs are just too mellow for me. The one in Night Swimming, which is not the REM song, but it's dreamy, and it's, she's just kind of singing like this, and
well, like the Sundays album from 25 years ago, 30
yeah,
years
I love
ago.
the Sundays, but this is, some of these songs are a little bit too slow. One song I love is Yellow is the Color of His Eyes, and believe it or not, it reminds me of Coldplay, Yellow. I mean, I don't know if it's because she's saying yellow, but it's the way it's sung. Now, this song is 7 minutes and 11 seconds. But this song is so great. I'm serious. It doesn't matter. Lyrically, it's very, very good. Like the song Stain is about her being a stain that won't come out. Says, but you pulled me close and went through me like a ghost. And I hate the things that you trapped inside my throat. How you made me feel with your words like chloroform. And I hate the taste that it puts in my mouth. Now I'm always stained, like the sheets at my parents' house. Yeah, I'm awfully stained, and it's never coming out. I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
Because, like I said, after I listened to it a couple of times, and I always think, will I listen to this again? Probably. And I actually put a couple of songs in one of my playlists. So.
All right.
Okay. So that's Soccer Mommy. Oh, the album I probably didn't mention, Color Theory, came out February 28th, 2020. So almost a year ago. And that's her second album.
Okay.
Okay. What do you
All right. I got number 30 on the top 50 from Rolling Stone, and that is 16 Oceans. It's spelled out, by Fortet. That's also spelled out.
Okay.
FOUR, next word TET. Fortet. So the man behind the music is Kieran Hebden, and he's been doing this about 20 years. And this is actually his 10th album. So it's kind of wild that the first two that I got chosen were electronic.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also an album as mellow as the one you just described and as electronic and interesting as the one I just described before this with KAREEM Ali. Kieran Hebden, he has mixed songs, possibly albums, for several people. Some I didn't recognize, but I did recognize Rihanna. So he's got a professional relationship there with Rihanna and getting some gigs there as a producer. And
I'd like to have a special relationship with Rihanna.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Don't tell my wife.
Yeah,
Okay.
Megan Thee Stallion or something.
No, calm down.
Okay. So the track that I found most intriguing and probably my favorite is called Teenage Bird Song. It's track 4 on 16 Oceans. And it's got some really interesting high notes. I believe it's a flute. It's probably electronic flute, but I like it. It really comes together well. Hebden uses sounds that can be found in nature, water dripping, insects. It's not so mellow that it's a meditation album, for you to stay home and meditate with.
Mm-hmm.
It's more interesting than that. But birds singing, and he's got actual birds singing in a song called, it's an acronym, ISTM. Maybe it stands for insects, the I, who knows. But ISTM.
The birds are actually singing lyrics?
No.
Okay. Because that would be
cool. there's a program for that, if you go in FL Studio, you hit birds singing. Yeah, that's good. The birds are actually singing their own song while they're in his song. Yeah, there's another song called Insect Near Piha Beach. So, somewhere there's a Piha Beach, Piaha. So the insect, this mixes random high frequency sounds, that's trying to simulate, but it's to a danceable beat. So, so Insect Near Piha Beach is got a danceable beat with insects and such in the background.
So are all the songs have a nature theme or?
Not all, but most. Yeah, most. Okay. You're going to hear the birds or the insects and things going on. But I like the mix where it's not the whole time and it's not absent. I think that he mixes up these interesting nature sounds with it. Yeah, of course, he is a I don't know if I call him a producer. I'm not in the music business, but he has remixed audio for other people. He knows what he's doing with the mix. So segues between songs are good. There's a flow to the album. I saved a couple for my playlist, 1 or 2 songs, but I give it a 3.5.
Okay. My next one, we have to have a warning on this because this.
Are we at the album? We're at the album.
We're going to get explicit. I'm going to start this off with saying this is the worst album I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's up there.
Is there a genre that is this? Go ahead.
This is, I wouldn't say it's rap because she's not really rapping. It's between. I wouldn't even say it was dance. I don't know. I can't. Mm-hmm. There's beats and she's singing, and it's FLO MILLI. Ho, why's you here?
Ho, why's you here?
Yes. And it came out July 24th, 2020.
Okay.
So we have.
To make it acceptable, it could be yo, why is you here? Instead of ho, why is you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this album, 12 songs, 30 minutes. So that tells you a lot. Most of the songs.
Yeah. It's like a good shot getting it over.
There is a theme to this album.
Oh, why is you here?
And it's annoying because every song. Now imagine if Paul McCartney. Let's bring him up again.
Yeah. Paul.
Every song on his last album, before the song started or when the song started, he went,
"Oh, why is you here?"
No.
Oh.
I used to be in the Beatles. Shit. I don't know. I don't know why I said, I used to be in the Beatles, you f***ers. So
you're asking the question, what if Paul McCartney's new album, always started with that, or it was in there somewhere?
Yeah, started with that. Okay. Every song on this album starts with, she says, familiar shit.
Familiar shit.
Yeah. Family, familiar.
Ah, yeah.
It's
familiar shit.
So every
Okay,
song
okay.
now there's another theme is every song has the word bitch in it.
Hmm.
Especially the 12th song on the album, which
Hmm.
is
How
the
much?
last song. She
Oh, is
says the
there
word bitch 45 times. Uh,
45
yeah.
times?
She says, "Excuse me, bitch," sung over and over, between some just basic lyrics, but
No,
mostly.
but listen. She's being polite there. She's using some etiquette. Excuse me,
Mhm.
bitch.
Yeah,
Excuse me, bitch. Yeah, okay. So she's making an effort, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then most of the album is it's putting down other women.
Hmm.
She's boasting about sleeping with her friends, boyfriends.
Oh, why you here?
Sometimes her enemies too, you know.
Hmm.
But the whole album is about how great she is, how that she's a bitch
Oh,
and she's not
yeah.
gonna.
She's the bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is the most annoying music I've ever heard.
Hmm.
And I only could listen to it once.
Were you able to get through a whole song? Were you able to listen like the whole song
Yeah,
and
I did
everything?
listen to the whole album.
Oh,
Here, I'll
good,
give you
good for you.
some lyrics from some of them.
Okay, yeah, this will be
Song
good.
two is Beef Flow Mix. I think I saw that at the shop right.
Is that
Beef,
beef or B?
beef flow mix.
Okay, beef.
Yeah, I was gonna pick it up the other day at shop right.
Oh, give it to us.
Now,
Give it to
now
us
I
now,
have now
bitch.
I have to say that some of these lyrics got me like laughing. So I mean
No, but
that's
this is
probably a
this is
plus.
this is some serious
Yeah.
music here on Rolling Stone's Top 50. Go ahead.
Well, the amazing thing is this is rated at number 15. This should be like
Oh, that hurts.
yeah,
Oh,
this should
that
be like
hurts.
number 815.
Yeah, eight.
I'm
When you
serious.
said eight, you mean 815.
Yes.
All right.
So beef
So
flow mix. I like cash from my head to my ass. I don't know. Like
sorry.
she's
Go
covered
ahead.
in cash.
Yeah.
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 She just wants to be drowning in cash, I guess.
Yeah.
The third song is Like That Bitch. So you got the bitch in the title of the song.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she's making fun of some big top, small legs, bitch built like a wine glass.
Yeah.
They're very
Yeah.
descriptive.
Yeah. That was a good day
I'll
that
go
she
through
came up
these
with
real
that one.
quickly here. In the
Yeah.
party, well, this song lets everyone know that she's still a bitch.
Okay.
So basically, she's either calling someone a bitch or she's a bitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think when you talk about that, I think other people are a bitch, but when you talk about yourself, like in that context, you are the bitch. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I get
yeah.
it. I get it. Yeah.
I just don't understand the purpose of this album, but we got some N words in here.
Oh, bigger.
Not all the songs. Ninja,
Ninja, the ninja
yeah,
word. Uh-huh.
like the song "Weak." These ninjas weak.
Yeah.
She's calling her friends out. I don't know.
Yeah. With the N word. Yeah. Which
Yeah,
is not ninja, by the way, just so our
yeah.
listeners know. Yeah.
Now,
Ninja.
what's also
Yo, ninja.
mind-boggling is the New York
Mhm.
Times put this album at number 8. They even like what's going on here?
But they'd be bitches.
So I don't know if all the youngins, because we're oldens,
Yeah. Yeah.
that just like this stuff. I mean,
Hmm.
this is crap to me.
You
I mean,
know, maybe these people aren't calling me a bitch, or a biga or anything, or a ninja. Maybe people aren't calling me that. So, I'm gonna go download and stream some music that can call me that.
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think
But
about
when
it.
I listen to music, I like maybe the voice,
Hmm.
the chorus, maybe it's got a good hook, and maybe it has a good meaning to it. I mean, there are some
Hmm.
fun songs I listen to that,
Yeah.
you know. Now, I will say one good thing
Yeah. Go ahead.
is that she does have a cute voice, like a very
Okay.
nice voice, and maybe her next album will be a little bit more
Hmm.
intelligent. Maybe she'll figure out how to write better songs because I think her voice is being wasted.
Right. Right. That's a good point. Go ahead. When you finish, let me
Yeah.
know. I got some
Okay.
comment there.
Now, this is I think it's a website, but it's sort of a magazine called The Ringer.
Hmm.
So this person, Mika Peters, called the mixtape. He's calling it a mixtape. Not only
Hmm.
cool, but sort of radical. in regards to her brash, magnetic alter ego. Though Ho Wise You Here clocks in at 30 minutes, it is worth at least 2 hours of your time.
Oh, why did you hear?
I don't want
Like, why would anybody
minutes.
write that?
I want my 30 minutes back. You know?
My coworker used to say, listen, that's 30 minutes of my life that I'm never going to get back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what she used to say. No, listen, this reminds
my
me.
rating, one last.
Go ahead, give me a rating.
So my rating on this, I know we go
Scale
1 to 5, but
1 to
this
5,
is this is a 0. I don't recommend this one. There's there's a lot better music out there. You know,
right.
I mean, give it a listen and you'll know what I'm talking about.
So this reminds me of back in the 80s. There was this rap song. I think it was like a one-hit wonder or something. And I heard they're going to do a remix of it and put it out. I'm just reading it. I haven't heard it. And the song is Yo Yo Baby. And they're going to like just add like Yo Yo Baby bitch.
It went to number 6,890 on Billboard's chart. Because I think 10 people might have listened to it.
Jim, I think we need to let the listeners taste it here.
Yeah, we're gonna play a little snippet.
Proper. Girlie came up to me. She said, I love your teeth. I said they were 24 karat gold. I wanted her to hold me. Tell me what you're thinking. I don't know how to live this life of mine. I think I'm going out of my mind. What? Huh? Boy, you break it on down. Yo, yo, baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, 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 baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, 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 baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, yo, baby, yo, yo.
Hey, don't you guys think that? I mean, you can't just add bitch to that. I mean, that's not bringing it up, you know?
Yeah.
From 6,486 ranking, you know?
Oh, I forgot to say that the first song on this album, it's really short.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Well, no, it's even shorter than 2 minutes. It's like a minute. Mm-hmm. But it reminded me of Yo Yo Baby. So we might have to get a lawyer on this.
Oh man.
So folks, when you listen to that what we just played, listen to the first song. I don't have the name of it on the Flo Milli album there. Okay.
Flo Milli. Yo ho, why you here? Yo ho, why you?
I don't know why I'm here.
Is it?
Sometimes
it's ho why you here? Hey, I can't believe that you were just talking about number 15, but I'm going to go to number 4, and we're leaving the electronica and the soccer mommy and the rap behind. We're jumping right up to.
One thing to clarify: Soccer Mommy was not electronica. Maybe the drums were. Yeah. But it's mainly guitar.
Cool.
Guitar.
Yeah, and what I was saying is we're leaving behind the electronica and the soccer mommy and the rap. It's all different. Mm-hmm. So we're going to Bob Dylan's latest album, Rough and Rowdy Ways. So Rough and Rowdy Ways. Rough and Rowdy Ways.
Dennis in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the
Number four in 2020. Now, I got some things to say about this album. I'm biased, you know. Me and Robert Zimmerman, born on the same day. I was born on his 20th birthday. So I always know how old I am if I just know how old Bob Dylan is.
So he could be your father.
Yeah. I'm just wondering where he was celebrating his 20th birthday. That doesn't make me old. It makes him old. So
He was
anyway,
probably protesting something that.
yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. This is his first album with original music in almost 10 years. The album as a whole, it's recalling a lot of the many things that he's done in his whole lifetime. But you got to watch because every single line isn't true. This isn't a documentary, you know. This is so he's like saying things that he's done. I'm not convinced that all of it is exactly true. It starts off with a soft song, a little bit more closer to spoken word than singing, you know, actually singing. And Jim, you probably know it. I contain multitudes. He says he's really waxing philosophical. And then he ends it with, and I contain multitudes. It's like, I contain a lot of this. And it's pretty cool. One of the several blues songs is False Prophet. That's pretty good. Let's see what it says here. I've made up my mind to give myself to you. That's interesting. I've made up my mind to give myself to you, end quote. I thought that was an interesting title because there's actually 10 words in that title. A 10-word title, but back to the blues. You know, he's got that slow beat blues rhythm bass going, and that's pretty good. Some of the songs are upbeat and rocking blues, like "Goodbye, Jimmy Reed." Another song, "Mother of Muses," is pretty good. One thing I will note, though, I like Bob Dylan. Don't listen all the time. He's getting up in years. That voice has sang a lot of songs. There's some times where the voice is raspy and it's a little crackly and
it's getting worse.
Yeah, and it's not how he sings. It's the voice is hurting a bit. So that's kind of hard to hear. But at the same time, the crackling in the voice, it goes along with what he's saying. This album is just it's him reminiscing, him going over and over. And I want to spend more time here on the last song. And Jim, you texted me as soon as you heard this song. It's a song last year, months ago, by Bob Dylan, and it's nearly 17 minutes long. And it's called Murder Most Foul.
Yes.
Yeah. And so this one came out first, didn't it? As a single, I believe.
Yeah, he released that before the album.
And he had a point to that. You know, he, like anyone who releases a single before an album, he wanted this one to be known. Murder Most Foul talks about, well, if you call it up streaming, you have a great portrait of JFK, John F. Kennedy. So the song is about the death of JFK being a murder most foul. But in this nearly 17 minutes, I think it's 16:48 or something, Bob Dylan goes through many things that have happened, and it's not just the 60s. He goes, it's a lot of 60s and 70s, but it's politics. It's mentioning so many name drops.
Or maybe it's
what's your
transpired after JFK's assassination.
Okay, yes,
you know, I know they're bad before that too, with some things, you know, with segregation and the riots, and but. Yeah.
Right. So it's not random in its timing. You're saying that it's about JFK and things that happened. The song is beautiful. It's spoken word. It's just piano in the background. Then later comes in the violin. About halfway through the song, you're hearing a violin, you're hearing a snare drum. Some words from the song: a good day to be living and a good day to die. That magic bullet has gone to my head. Another one: the day that they killed him, someone said to me, son, the age of the Antichrist has just begun. So, yeah, just going through a lot of things. And I'm really sensing I believe he ends, it is what it is, and it's murder most foul. So, Jim, I'm really sensing this whole album, as I sensed a little bit with Bruce Springsteen and I believe 2019 movie and an album. You know, really reflecting. I think Bob Dylan's doing it even more here.
Yeah, Western Stars.
Western Stars, yes, for Bruce Springsteen. But I think Bob Dylan's really reflecting here, really looking back, and not just looking back with ease. He's looking back, and what was the big moment? And he's saying, you know what, I got to talk for a while, even 17 minutes, about that murder most foul. And so I give this, especially because of that last song and the couple others I liked on the album, I give it a 4.
Okay.
I can listen to this again. And
Yeah, I haven't listened to it, and I held off because I knew you were. I mean, maybe I should have listened to some of it, but only that last song.
Yeah,
And,
but it's yeah. So I really I think it's very meaningful.
Mm-hmm. And Bob Dylan is so prolific, even at his age now. And
Right.
you know, if you can get over the voice, listen to the lyrics. It's the same with Bruce Springsteen. You know, people love him or hate him.
Mm-hmm.
They hate him for the wrong reasons. Bruce has always been political, and you know, just lately, just because of his politics, they hate him. You know, Tom Waits is another one. If you can get past the voice, yeah. My wife, she doesn't particularly like Tom Waits, but
and his voice, not that it's him, it's his voice.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Bob Dylan is there was an album, I think it's called Blonde on Blonde, where he had a song, the song Lay Lady Lay, I think that's on that. His voice is not as shrill or whatever you call it, or raspy.
It's more like a singer's voice.
It's more, yeah, because supposedly he had quit smoking for a while. Did you get that?
Lay lady lay across. Lay across my big back. No, you got a really good point. I remember that. I remember thinking that his voice sounded smooth. Yeah.
Okay, so my next album is Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Chromatica. Now, I have to say I really loved Lady Gaga's, I think it was her last two albums. I think one was Jolene and also A Star Is Born soundtrack.
Both great. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Jolene being her middle name, by the way.
Yeah. Because that was more, maybe more ballads or not. This one is dance. And
Total dance and get out there and shake that booty.
so I listened to this a couple of times. There's a couple of songs that I like, kind of interesting, but it's not really my type of music. And I always think I'd rather listen to Halsey because lyrically, this isn't for Lady Gaga. I mean, it's sort of on the lines of the Paparazzi song. You know, those early songs that she had out. The first song, or it might be the second song, is called Alice, and she's referencing Alice in Wonderland. She says, "My name isn't Alice, but I keep looking for Wonderland." And that one has a good beat, and I like the way the vocals curve go on that song. There's some interesting songs, at Plastic Doll, and it reminds me of the song Barbie Girl. Just because of the theme here.
Right.
She's looking for someone who doesn't just love her because of the way she looks. Lyric is, "I've lived in a pink box so long. I am top shelf. They built me strong." And then the chorus is, "Don't play with me. It just hurts me. I'm bouncing off the walls. No, no, no. I'm not your plastic doll." And then this one line in the same song reminds me, like it could be a Weird Al kind of.
Yeah.
I've got blonde hair and cherry lips. I'm state of the art. I'm microchip. I don't know. It just came across as a weird. Not that Weird Al would say, you know, sing that, but the microchipped. I don't know. That just. The worst song on here is the song Enigma, only because when I was listening to this for the first time, I wasn't looking at the song titles. And I could have swore she was she's saying I'll be your enigma, but I thought she was saying I'll be your enema. Because she sings an enigma.
Enigma.
And it sounds like
I'll be your enigma.
Yeah, and I want to be your, you know, enigma. We can be anything you want. So I'm like, how is she going to be an enema?
How does that work?
Yeah. The one song I really liked is it's called "Sign from Above," and it's SINE, and sign is, I think it's some sort of signal, like some sort of sound wavelength signal. Now, this song, two powerhouses come together: Lady Gaga and Elton John. Sir Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a futuristic song. Now this song, I don't know, I get weird ideas when I'm in the car and I'm listening to stuff. So the song has a couple spots where it speeds up and it becomes real dancey.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why, and don't think any less of me, but I just pictured, and I don't know why, Elton John ripping his shirt off and starting to twerk.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, did you visualize that while you were driving?
Yeah, and I almost
were you driving again?
Crashed the car again. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were golfing. I thought you were driving. Okay.
Yeah.
You're driving a car.
This song might have some meaning. When I was young, I prayed for lightning. My mother said it would come and find me. So I don't know if she was looking for something bigger than she was, or something she wanted to become, or something that would take her out of the mundane life. She was, I don't know, maybe I'm looking too far.
Well, she was bullied. It was a sad, difficult life.
Yeah.
When she was young.
And then Elton says, when I was young, I felt immortal, and not a day went by without a struggle. So there's some meaning in this.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of the album, Babylon, which has kind of a different meaning. Babylon, it's spelled like the city, Babylon.
Ancient city. Yeah.
But it's, when she sings, it's like babble on, because she says Babylon, gossip, gossip. Kind of reminded me of One Night in Bangkok.
Yes.
Meets Vogue, the Madonna song.
Yeah. Okay.
Now here's a trivia question. One Night in Bangkok. Who sang that? Do you remember that song from the 80s?
Yeah. It's Marty.
Oh, you're close.
Right?
Murray.
Yeah. Murray. Oh, yeah.
Murray Head. Yeah.
Murray Head. Yeah.
So this is basically a dance album, and like I said, I'm going to give it a 3. Because I'm a little crazy about it, but for effort. I mean, there's a lot of work that went into this album. But it's an odd album where I wasn't really drawn into any songs in particular that that blew me away.
And you can see what she did. The great fame and the great work that she put into A Star Is Born. I love that soundtrack. That's a 5 for me. And then just going from that to the stripped down personal Jolene, this was completely opposite. Up, from being deep down and personal up to the top, and giving her fans the dance music that they once loved and bought. Yeah. I think it's it's a big shift.
And I'm sure she had fun doing it. I mean, there's a song with Ariana Grande on there. So,
yeah.
If you have fun making music, and it's way above that Flo Milli album. Anything's way above that, but
yeah.
We're gonna.
So that's it. That's a 3 and 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got the 6 random ones done from the top 50 albums from Rolling Stone's top 50 of 2020. I searched, and it was difficult for me to find some stuff I really liked in 2020. Now, I know there's the local guy that we interviewed, Justin Schuyler. He did something good. In 2020, I've been listening to Amos Lee. If you guys know anything about music, you know about Amos Lee. So Amos Lee is doing the Thursday live streaming, 7:30 to 8 every Thursday. He's taking next week off. So anyway, there's things I like in 2020. But what I did is I went back and I found somebody new who did something in 2020. So I'm listening to college radio, and I said, this song is sweet. This song is good. And you know what? Now I forget what song it was. But it's Andrea
Megan
Van Kampen.
the Stallion?
No. It's her sister. No, I'm kidding. It's not her sister. No, this is Andrea Van Kampen. And the genre is singer-songwriter and new folk. And she put an album out, a 5-song EP called Romeo and Juliet. Just her and her guitar. It's 5 songs, are really smooth and sweet. But really, I'm just using this album to get in the door so I can talk about Andrea Van Kampen. She had a first album called Desdemona. And she had a second album called Old Country. And Old Country, it's talking about people who immigrated from the old country in Europe to the U.S. That was recorded in 2019. But really, then also in 2020, then up to this Romeo and Juliet, just most recently, in October of 2020, she put out Song for Mel. And I haven't gotten to hear the Song for Mel, M-E-L. But I do want to talk about this. She's a great artist. She's only 26 years old. She's from a small town in Nebraska, then moved and is now playing out of Lincoln, Nebraska. And she is just wonderful. It's her and her guitar. But she put out in 2017, she put out a live album. It's live on Audio Tree. So it's a service called Audio Tree. It's her and her friend and fellow musician, Addie Hotchkiss. Addie Hotchkiss is on cello and backing vocals. They really complement each other. It's just wonderful to hear them together. My favorite song on the live on Audio Tree is Let Me Down Easy. And if you're going to listen to anything, listeners, check out Andrea Van Kampen, Let Me Down Easy. Her style is very much, I was thinking first Sean Colvin, and then as I'm listening to some other stuff just earlier today, very much like Suzanne Vega. If you've had some of those early Suzanne Vega or mid-career, it's Sean Colvin and Suzanne Vega telling a story, but her voice is wide range and very sweet and expressive. So listeners, check out Andrea Van Kampen. Only 26 years old, only a couple albums out, and you're going to be hearing more from her. And you know her already if you are into folk or singer-songwriters at all.
When the podcast comes out, in the description, we'll have a list of all the artists we talked about.
That's right.
Including the albums, but just the artist names. So you don't have to go back into the podcast of people.
And then we'll have to have a little meeting and decide whether Flo is actually going to be listed.
Yeah. I don't know if I want a hashtag. So
Jim, what do you got from 2020 that you're liking?
So I found this new band last year, and sometimes music is subjective, and but I like all genres. And sometimes I go for lyrically, but also I go for fun, sound, rocking. This band is just fun. They are called Dreamwife. Okay. Oh. They are from the UK. They're a little bit hard to describe, but they're, I call them like punk pop. And what I like about this band is a little bit experimental in that when they've been interviewed, they said each show, their songs they don't play the songs exact. Like the guitarist may do something a little different.
Intentionally.
Yeah, and they're also working, even though these songs are on an album recorded, they're still working on the song.
Yeah.
So they're a fairly new band. So their last album was So When You Gonna. And I know our listeners can't see, but I actually have. That's what they kind of look like. Fun band.
Back to vinyl. Back to 12-inch vinyl.
Yeah, and the album that I got is on a splatter clear.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know why, but they only made 300 of them. And I didn't pay too much. Paid the regular like 20. I'm thinking about buying another one and holding on. I don't know how popular they are. And I'm not sure how I discovered this band, but when you go on Apple Music and you're listening to, maybe you type in a band that someone recommended, and then at the bottom it says similar artists. And I always click on those. So this band, they were former, if I'm saying it right, Brighton University students. The guitarist, her name is Alice Go. The bass player is Bella Paddock.
Wow.
And the singer is Raquel, Rakel Mjoil. Now, this band started out, I like this whole story because the band started out as a college project to like create a band.
Mm-hmm.
The story, as far as I could gather, is that they wanted to go to Canada to visit some friends. They didn't have a lot of money. So they decided, let's book some places to play, make some money. And that's how they started out. They only had 4 songs. I don't know how you do a tour.
Yeah, you can't do
cover
much.
songs. They are pretty much I don't know if women's lib, if I want to use that word, if there's another word for it now, but.
Well, they're feminists. Equal rights, feminists.
And I don't know, like halfway through their shows, they have, I think it's called a bitch break or something like that.
Okay. What do you do on a bitch break?
All the women come up to the front, so there's no men.
Yeah.
Whether
bitch
they're slam dancing or whatever.
Well, that's interesting.
The lead vocalist, she's pretty good. And some of the songs she almost speaks. She has the accent, and she's not really singing. The one song that got my attention was a song called "Homesick." It starts out, just slow, and then the chorus before she just screams out the lyrics, and her voice. I think it's as high as her voice can go.
Wow.
And it just caught my attention.
Yeah.
But they're a fun band, so that's Dreamwife. I'm going to check them out. And I think this might be their 3rd album that just came out.
That's cool.
I just want to talk about some other bands that real briefly. Check out Marcus King. His last album was El Dorado. He has a band, it's called the Marcus King Band, but he put out, I can never figure out when someone puts out a solo album and it's their name still, like did they just get, because he has a band, did he get rid of the old band and he has different, of course, Phoebe Bridgers, she's on everybody's list now.
Watch list, right?
Yeah, she was on SNL. I just love Phoebe Bridgers, both her albums. And I think on her first album, there's a song called Funeral, and try and listen to it without crying.
Wow.
Because it's pretty powerful. Another one is Alex the Astronaut. And
I've not heard of Alex.
And she's similar, again, to Phoebe Bridgers and Soccer Mommy. But she's from Australia, so she has the Australian accent when she's singing it. Really great voice. It's one person. I think her name's Alexandria or something like that.
Yeah.
Tired Lion. Now, see, this is the thing. I went when I did the similar artists. I'm getting all Australian.
Yeah.
Now they're a cross between like Weezer and Green Day. Believe it or not, it's a female lead singer. I think there's another female in the band. So I think it's 2 women and 2 guys. So this album title I love, Breakfast for Pathetics. And that came out last year. But they're high energy, fun, and intelligent lyrics. Another fun band, the BOMBPOPS. They're kind of punkish pop. They also sound like another band I like, the Dolly Rots. They sound kind of like the Donnas. I don't know if you remember them from like the 80s. Another Australian from a couple years ago, I started again, Courtney Barnett. I don't think she put out an album last year. Oh, there's one more, Odd Morris. Okay. They are an Irish band. And the weird thing is they've only released 3 songs as singles in the last 2 years. No album.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, they sound like early U2, like musically. Like
I will need to check that out.
Not so much that the singer sounds like Bono, but the guitar, like it has that U2, like early U2, especially the song Cold Water. Cold Water. Okay, that's
Cold Water. Now, is that Morris, like my friend's last name, Morris?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Odd Morris.
Yes. Odd Morris, yeah. Jim, thanks so much for the list of, our listeners can check out some things. I wrote down Dreamwife and Marcus King and Odd Morris. I've got some things written down. I want to check those out.
Yeah, I don't know if you like Dreamwife as much as that, because
Oh, I will check it out and find out for myself. So we got one more thing here. We want to do This Day in Music next.
This Day in Music, February 27th.
And I'm going to start this off. So we talk about music history. This day in music history, we've got 2004, taking you back to 2004, kiddos. A worker in a supermarket in Aspen, Colorado, alerted the police after seeing a man shopping with his face covered by a mask.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a mask. Now, right now in Aspen, there's about 300 people shopping in Aspen with masks on. But this was pre-COVID. Police arrived on the scene and identified the man as a Mr. Michael Jackson, who was in town on holiday with his children. We know that Michael, would always wear a mask a lot of places. Do you remember he went to Africa to visit? I don't even know what country. And he wore a mask and he wouldn't take it off. And people were offended, thinking that they thought he was dirty and stuff. So he offended everybody there by not taking his mask off.
Whenever he'd go out of the house, he would wear a mask. So he was before his time.
Yeah.
So if he was still alive, he would have no problem wearing a mask.
He would love it. Yeah, we would be wearing Michael Jackson's face on our masks, possibly. All right, so what do you got?
We're going back to 1968. 25-year-old Frankie Lyman, lead singer of the Teenagers, died from a heroin overdose in his grandmother's New York home. Lyman was on leave from a Georgia Army post at the time and was scheduled to record for Roulette Records the next day. And he first hit national charts in 1956 when he was just 13 with Why Do Fools Fall in Love?
Wow.
And I think he was, 25 years old. And Frankie Lyman is going to come up in one of our podcasts with actually someone we're going to be interviewing.
Yeah. Interviewed soon to come.
We're going way back.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to 2010. So we are 11 years ago. Talking about moneymakers here. U2 raked in more money than any other music act in the U.S. in 2009, making $109 million from touring, record sales, and royalties. Now, Jim, this is more than double the next person. So if you cut this in half, you have Bruce Springsteen, who took in about 58 million, followed by Madonna. That just surprises me. Madonna, 2010, somehow. And then
she lost her spark by that time.
Yeah. Yeah, but she gained a spark again because this is 2010. So so then it was AC/DC, and then it was your favorite, Coldplay. U2 will always make more than Coldplay. That's just the way it is. But anyway, there you go. I think I should have looked into this, but it seems that was probably when they had the 360 stage, and they spent millions just on that stage. I was going to
say 190 million profit.
109, excuse me, 109.
109. Mm-hmm. And then you have to pay all these people. I mean, unless it was profit after everything was paid for.
Well, I think it's net profit, because that's what they're making. It doesn't say gross; it says making. Let me see. Took home. The other words they use is took home with somebody else. I think it's profit. Yeah.
So maybe the four guys,
if it's gross, they should say that the band grossed this on tour and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, wow.
So my next one is it's 1977. Again, February 27th.
Mm-hmm.
Keith Richards was arrested at Toronto's Harbour Castle Hotel after an ounce of heroin was found following a raid of his hotel room by 15 Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
They're mounted while they're in the hotel room.
Yeah, they were mounted. They shoved them into the elevator. I don't know how many horses you can get in there. Like he probably heard them coming. Yeah,
probably.
So Richards, he was charged with possession with intent to traffic He faced 7 years to life in prison, and bail was set at $25,000. So obviously, he is not. He didn't get life in prison, and I'm sure that it was reduced. I don't even know. Not sure if he spent any time in jail.
Yeah.
And he's still alive, which is amazing.
Yes. Walking Dead. What do they call him? What's his nickname?
I don't
Walking
know.
Dead.
Yeah.
All right. So I go to a birthday. This is a birthday on 27th.
Oh, no, wait. One more thing about Keith.
Yeah. Heroin. You going to talk about heroin again?
There was a meme when we were first in quarantine. We can't go out of our house only to the grocery store. And it was a meme of Keith Richards. He's up on a balcony. He's up on a balcony just wearing shorts. No, and he looked like he's looking around. I said, "Where is everybody?" If there was like some plague, Keith Richards would be the only survivor.
Yeah, he'd come out and say, "What? Where is everybody?" Oh my! All right, we're going back. We're going back 110 years.
What?
I'm serious. I wasn't exaggerating. So anyway, on this date in 1910, we have the Trinidadian pianist Winifred Atwell. You're saying, why are we talking about Winifred Atwell? Well, let me tell you. She enjoyed popularity in Great Britain and Australia in the 50s, a series of boogie woogie and ragtime hits, selling over 20 million records. Okay, again, this is 20 million records in the 50s. She was the first Black person to have a #1 hit in the UK singles chart. And it was with Let's Have Another Party. Oh, there you go. And she is still the only female instrumentalist to do so. That would be to have a #1 hit in the UK singles charts. She died on the 28th of February, 1983. So anyway, that's interesting that the first Black person to have a #1 hit in the UK singles was Winifred Atwell. Very cool.
And I would imagine boogie woogie is maybe like rockabilly, sort of.
Rockabilly, boogie woogie, ragtime. It's a lot of just moving fast,
Yeah, when you say let's have a party, I think it's Wanda Jackson has a song, something like that.
Oh, because she could have been covering it if it's the same title. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about Madonna again. This was 2015. So this was only 6 years ago. Madonna said she suffered whiplash as a result of her nightmare accident at the 2015 Brit Awards. The 56-year-old was pulled backwards off stage by a cape. She was wearing a cape, like a superhero.
Yeah.
It was supposed to fall from her shoulders, causing the singer to fall down a flight of steps. So I don't know how she was pulled backwards.
Oh, it was probably a breakaway. It's made to break away. It's supposed to be pulled down.
Okay.
Yeah, and instead of breaking away, it pulled her back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that was this day in music history, 27th of February. Listeners, it's been great. I really appreciate you spending time with us and getting into some new music and, starting out with critiquing 2020 a little bit. We have to have a discerning taste, and we have to critique a little bit because, just from some of the stuff we heard, the one is Jim, the one that you were lucky enough to get, So we got to look at that.
Yeah, and you can tell we grew up listening to Led Zeppelin and the Cars, but we also that's why we're also looking for new music, like the bands I mentioned. It's not like we're stuck in the 70s or 80s
or 90s or aughts.
Yeah, we just love music, and be sure to check out our interviews. We do have a YouTube channel, I like to mention. Just look up Jim and Mike Talk Music. We have some video on YouTube, and we don't have our regular podcast on YouTube anymore, so that's just audio. So, and whatever platform podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find us. So, and we appreciate everybody listening.
All right, so check out the interviews coming up. So, listeners,
turn off the TV
and turn up the music.
Intro and exit music by the band 99%.
Today's show was produced and edited by Jim Thatcher. You can find Jim and Mike Talk on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and their host site, Podbean.
The song Yo-Yo Baby was used with permission from the rap duo Fruity Loops.